guys. I'm a bit nervous, but yeah, my name is Justice Mukheli. I'm a photographer and film director from Soweto. I grew up there, born and bred. I've always been a creative because both my parents are creatives, and I'll tell you how that got to me. But before I get into showing you my work, I'd love to give you a little bit of context about my life. So I grew up in Soweto, and they say it's the dusty streets of Soweto. Yes, they were dusty, but beautiful and nice. And I've got dyslexia, and yeah, I'll talk to you about that. So when I was young, I used to fix cars. I thought I was gonna be a mechanic. I really loved it so much. I still do, but unfortunately, that's not a viable career for me now. I did a lot of graffiti, and graffiti introduced me to typography, and typography introduced me to design. So I got into graffiti through programming. So I used to fix computers with my brother. Well, I've got a twin brother. And we used to have a small business. I think we were 14, 15. So our business used to, we used to service people's computers in the township, and predominantly just in our circle. And we were bad boys, man. We had a little virus that was called Win32, which in 32 days, it crushes your computer so that you come back to me and pay me and pay my brother and I 150 rands to sort out your computer, which was easy. So in our journey of being these computer geeks, we met this guy called Mzwandile Butelezi. He's a designer, and his computer had freehand and Photoshop and all the cool stuff. And I saw digital drawings for the first time, and I was blown away with my twin brother. And we're like, what? You can draw with the computer? So we stole his programs, installed Win32 into his computer. So Mzwandile ended up being our mentor, because I think he worked at TBWA. And I had no idea what advertising was, and I had no idea that digital designs are used for packaging, billboards, and I didn't know all that stuff. I was just a kid who was into computers, and I could draw, you know. So he became our mentor, so we got into design more, and he was an amazing graffiti artist. So we followed his footsteps, and we were doing graffiti, and it was beautiful. Then graffiti introduced us to advertising. Because we were making these cool illustrations, we got an opportunity to work at FCB as interns. Sorry about that. So because I grew up in Soweto and I went to school there, well, a big part of my education was there, I had dyslexia, and I didn't know what dyslexia was until I started working, right? And dyslexia, to me, my reality about my dyslexia was that, oh, those twins are just dumb because I couldn't read or write or read out loud, you know? So I literally failed every single grade from, well, in high school. And I was in matric when I was 21, so I had my 21st birthday at the tuck shop. Before I decided that, nah, this thing is not gonna work. So when I was at school, obviously they didn't know what dyslexia was. Because I couldn't read and write, I got frustrated that I know everything, but why am I not passing? So I didn't even have the patience to interrogate what the problem was. Then before I wrote my exams, I decided that, okay, I'm not gonna do this. I don't know what's causing that. Cool. Yeah, because at the time I had no idea what my dyslexia meant and what it was, so I just believed that I was dumb. But by chance, my twin brother and I were so into what we were doing, like computers and drawing and illustrating. We got an opportunity to get an internship at Draft FCB at the time. Well, it wasn't an internship. They just wanted people that could do illustrations a certain way, and my brother and I could do them because we copied Mzwandile and we stole his programs. So whilst we were doing that, they offered us an internship, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But when I started working in advertising, I realized that I can't really speak English and I can't write it. So I would get a brief, and my brother and I would leave home, which was Soweto, to get to the office at 6 so that we can read the brief between 6 and 9 o'clock and understand what they want, right? Then between 9 and 11, we need to write what our ideas are, which was incredibly tough. So my twin brother and I thought, okay, this English thing is very important. Yes, we may have the talent, but talent is not enough. We need to learn how to speak and write English. Well, I don't sound like I couldn't speak English in 2009 because I put in a lot of work into my language. So yeah, we learned with kids' books, grade 8, grade 1 or whatever. It was standard 1 and 2 or whatever when I was going to school at the time. We didn't do grades because I'm old. So yeah, my twin brother and I learned with kids' books. And in that process, sorry I'm jumping around, in that process of learning, and before actually we started learning, when I was deciding to leave high school, I went to my mom and I said, I wish I could have said, hey dude, I'm tired. But I said, Ma, I'm tired of this school thing. It's not working for me. You can see that I failed every grade. My brother bowed out at grade 10, I think. He decided earlier, and I was trying to impress my parents by sticking around, but it didn't work. So I said, Mom, this is not gonna work. I'm gonna fail, so what's the point? So I want to go try be an artist. And my mom said, okay, it's very important you know this. And she gave me words that I live by to date, you know. And she said to me, okay, you can leave school as long as you've got a plan, and your plan needs to be being successful. And I was like, how am I going to be successful without matric? So in that conversation, she said, no, success is not what society tells you it is. Success is not having a lot of money or owning a big house or a massive car or whatever. Success is self-contentment. If you are happy, I will be happy. That's what my mom said to me. And she said, well, to both my brother and I, and she said, you don't need to worry about being successful for people. Worry about being successful at what you do. Be happy. If you are happy with the work you're doing, you'll always have a room in my house, and there'll always be food, and you won't need anything, you know. And that was the biggest blessing I got from my mom. I don't come from a rich family, but her words were so amazing because I was able to pursue what I really want to be without worrying about her thinking that, without worrying about thinking about being a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, because that was impossible for me. I mean, I couldn't read. So I thought, okay, I'm going to be an artist with my twin brother, and we pursued it. And we used to do illustrations a lot, and I used to draw realism. I can draw really well, but I don't have my realistic drawings, except this. It's a little bit, I drew my shoes there. And I didn't know what to do with my drawings, but at that time, I knew that the industry I want to get into needs a portfolio, and I didn't have a portfolio. So I thought, okay, wait, what can I do? And I started a group called Daily Little Drawings with my twin brother, and we would make these drawings every day, and we created a big community of people that would send work, and it was fun and interesting. Then I used that work, those illustrations and drawings, as a portfolio for me to get a better job when I was at FCP, because I've got now these cool drawings, and I had an opportunity to work on the ATA campaign to make illustrations for them, and it was amazing and cool. Yeah, these are just drawings. Some are breakup drawings, but it's cool. And yeah, I thought at that time, I thought I was gonna be an illustrator, and I really, really loved it, but I got bored. And I was like, okay, this is not what I really wanna do. So whilst I was in my journey of being an illustrator in advertising as a design and art director, I found my purpose, which my purpose is love, hope, and pride. And those three words are what I live by. Those three words are what I pour into the work I do, regardless of advertising or personal art, anything I do, music. I was a bit multi-talented. I'm not interested in my other talents, but I used to make really good music. I used to draw, as you saw. I used to fix cars and all that stuff. But whilst I was in advertising, my purpose became telling stories that are true to me, stories that are true to my experience. And I looked online because I had started taking these photos, you know, and I'm from Soweto, which is so beautiful in my experience and my upbringing. And when I would Google Soweto, I would find images of the uprising, which is a very important time and moment that has to be captured, but this is not a true reflection or the only reflection of the reality I come from. Where I come from, there are beautiful stories that speak hope, that speak love, that speak happiness, that speak all of the things that are not what the uprising is, as much as I respect it. Then when I saw that the internet has one way of showing my reality, I thought, okay, with my brothers at the time, I thought we need to take this matter to our own hands and tell our own stories from our own experiences, you know, because, I mean, it was so beautiful growing up in Soweto. I used to do somersaults. I wanted to be a gymnast, so because I could do, you know, those backflips and all that stuff really well. I can still do it as old as I am. And I used to do break dancing, I was so into it. I thought that's what my career would have been. But, well, I ended up being a photographer and a filmmaker. So I thought, okay, we need to tell stories that are real to us. And so amongst the images you look for, when you search the township, this is what you see, you know. And sure, these twins are really cool and intimidating, but it's not the only reality that I come from. Well, back. This is my reality. The photo is not as clear, unfortunately, but that's my cool twin brother and I. And the backdrop is the shop we used to buy fat cakes from, and that used to be my car. It's not anymore, but it was really cool. And yeah, before you go, so I thought it's really important that we show our reality and in its authenticity. You know, I didn't want to be this black guy who dresses like an Italian. I wanted to be a black guy who dresses like a black guy in Soweto, but world class, you know. So we would dress up and take these cool photos, wear suits with sandals, which is uncool, but we thought it was cool. Let's go to the next step. And when I was taking these photos, because the media shows us our reality so much, we believe what the media shows to us, you know, instead of thinking about what our reality was. So when I was taking photos, I would take photos of kids with a snotty nose that are crying, and that's not really my reality. Yes, I might have had a snotty nose, but it wasn't because I was poor or sad. I was happy, you know. So then I started taking photos like that are more a true reflection of my reality, you know, rather than crying, because I wasn't crying. I used to have toy cars, and my toy cars were bricks, and they were much better than an electronic Ferrari that kids in Rosebank drove, you know. And they were better because, it enhances your imagination, you know. Anyway, so in my journey, as I go back to my mom, well, my mom is my rock, you know. She's got so much knowledge. And I was asking her about, I was in a bad patch in my life, and I was asking her about what to do. And she said to me, to grow, you have to be honest with yourself. And I also live by those words, because as human beings, it's easy for us to lie to people, but if you're lying to yourself, then there's a bigger problem there. So you need to be honest with yourself. And I was honest with myself about the work I wanted to create, because I wanted to follow my purpose, you know. I wanted to create images that evoke a feeling, that speak about love and hope. And I wanted to unpack themes that I didn't see being unpacked, you know, when I looked online, when I Googled Soweto, South African townships. Then, in my journey now, I've got a grip. I'm a photographer, and I've found my purpose. I don't want to make glossy images. I want to make images with substance, images that tell stories. My brothers and I did a road trip to where I'm from, my homelands, Venda, and it was so cool. We went to go take these photographs of people there. And so I want to talk a little bit about my approach to photography, or my work. In the work I do, intention is very important. You know, what it means, how I approach it, what I want the story to be is important. It informs how I capture my subject, you know. For example, this photo could have been another photo of a guy who looks dirty, or who looks poor, or, you know, realities that are not true to us. Yes, he's not clean, but he was fishing, you know, and if I didn't think about my purpose and the intention in the work I want to create, I wouldn't have photographed him in his glory, but in his realness as well. You know, he doesn't have to be clean. He doesn't have to be what European standards are. You know, you can capture something in its trueness and still give it dignity. I'll just skip through some of the images I took. So this is from, I work at BOM now as a film director, and we're working on the new Shaka Zulu TV series, and we're just creating images for that. And these are just some of the images. Well, that's my friend Bongeziwe, who is a really cool musician, and I just wanted to photograph him. That's right. So when I created this image, growing up in the township, there are a few nuances that not many people know, you know. I grew up seeing this amazing photo of a mom and a child holding her child, and I thought I wanted to recreate something like that, but now, I know she's not holding a child, but I think the mood speaks to that. Skip. And that's my friend Snooks. Unfortunately, passed away last year. But I wanted to tell a story that is beyond just a photo of a guy. You know, I wanted to tell stories, to capture images that make you think. That's another friend, Jojo Abbott. We had a fallout, but that's fine. Amongst the photos I create, as much as I love to create images with substance, images that are not glossy and advertising, sometimes you have to bend your principle and create work that will pay the bills. So this is glossy advertising work that pays the bills. But I love it. That's Zoe. Let's go. I captured this image of a mom. It just reminds me of my mother, because my mom used to bake, and she made these cool cakes and biscuits, and my brother and I would walk with her to go sell them, and it just reminded me of that. I captured this in Nigeria. Cool. So now I'm going to show you my work as a film director, but I want to tell you a little bit of a backstory about all of that. So, yeah, I gave you a little synopsis about my life. I've got dyslexia, I still do, and I worked in advertising, which was really challenging but cool at the same time, because I learned a lot. Advertising is a great teacher. Without advertising, I couldn't have dreamt of being a photographer. And without advertising, I couldn't have dreamt of being a film director. So I was working as an art director at the time in Ogilvy, and I was creating these cool images with my twin brother and Vuyo, as I see a different you. And our approach to photography at the time was so real and interesting, and the industry wasn't really ready. So everyone was referencing a lot of our work. And a lady called Lizelle contacted me and said to me, she's a researcher for the film industry and advertising, and said to me she finds my images really interesting and they've got stories and narrative in them, and she thinks I would make a good film director. And I was like, what? Me? I can't even write. Then she introduced me to her friend called Neil Roberts, and Neil Roberts said to me, dude, you just have to try this thing. And I said, okay, I'll try, because in my life, I've tried many things, and I don't think as human beings we need to be one thing. You can be a lot of things, you know. As much as I wasn't in love with being an illustrator, but I was good at it in my own point of view, and I loved it to a certain point, and I made cool music and whatever. So you don't have to be one-dimensional. So let's go to the next stop. So when she came to me, Neil and I thought, okay, cool, let's create something that's gonna make you be appealing in the advertising space as a director, and what story can you tell? And I thought when we had that conversation, it was over the weekend, and I went to Braamfontein, and Neighbor Goods was still cool at the time. Maybe it's still cool now, I don't know. Then I was hanging out with my twin brother, and I saw this guy running from my neighborhood. He lives in Soweto, but he was running in Bram, and I saw him. I thought, oh wow, this guy is running here. He must have ran from Soweto to Bram. It was hectic, and I used to run as well, you know. Then, yeah, we must have had drinks and a few things, hung out with friends. Then I drove with my twin brother to go see my mom in Soweto. So when we got there, after 30 minutes or something, we saw the same dude running. And yeah, at the time I ran with the Nike team, you know. And I thought, wow, how cool is this? This guy ran from Bram to Soweto. He must have run from Soweto to Bram, then back. Sure. Anyway, so I stopped him because I know him. And I wanted to hear his story, and I offered him my shoes because I didn't need more than 3 pairs, you know. I offered him my shoes and some running gear. In the conversation, he said to me, he is not a runner, he's a boxer, but he doesn't have a coach, you know, and he fights regionally, and his story was so interesting. So I thought, okay, this is my big break to being a director for advertising. I want to tell this story. And yeah, I wrote the story, and we shot it, and it was just the three. It was me, my friend Devin Tuseli, who's an amazing cinematographer, and Neil Roberts. It was just the 3 of us, and we went to go shoot this little film as an ad. And I want you to look at it. The voice is my twin brother. It's not Dropiwa, but it did the job. Let's listen.
Ubva ndichibhebwa ndandichikorwera zvine ndava zvone namusi. Ndichisvika jimini coach yanga isiyo atimuimiri ngori dhuva lichipera ndijena ringini ndindoga. Usawana ndwadza ringini ndizvone zvononshungisa ngauri usarwi manda ayapera. Ndotoma boxing ndina min'waha ya 9. Ndidiva ndwa fhedzi.
Cool. So that was my first thing I directed. But thank you. So what I want to say about this is, earlier I spoke about realizing my purpose, you know, and part of my purpose are those 3 words that I told you. And as an artist, I am interested in creating work that speaks to me the way I speak. I'm interested in creating work that speaks to people and show them the way they are and their true self. And what I really enjoyed about this piece of work was, yes, the intention was to bring attention to this interesting boxer who had such a story that was compelling to me and put it out to the world. And this, what the film did for him, he got a sponsor, which was Transnet and a few other sponsors, and he got a coach, and he was able to fight beyond nationally. And currently in his weight division, he's #1. And he went 2 weeks ago, I think he was fighting in Russia, and he won the fight, which was amazing. So I just feel really good that the work I did helped him, you know, grow a little bit, you know. And yeah, so let's go to the next one. So this one is another commercial that I had the opportunity to work on. It's a collaboration between my friend and I, Amy, who's with Ola Films. And it's interesting to me because I was able to create something that is slightly beyond what's expected of me, and expected of me as someone who is not really educated in the film, but in the film industry, but I really like it. So let's check it out.
Nice fight, like, yeah? Yeah, that is overrated. Fire! We're on their way now. You mess up, you die. Last chance. 2 bombs. No, pass it around. Koop 'n sigaret, man.
50 cent in total.
Cool. Then I'm going to show you my last work. So this project came to me in an interesting way. I had an exhibition at Victoria Yards, and this guy from France, his name is Laurent, he went to the show and he saw my photography, and he got hold of me through Instagram, and he said he really loves my work and he's interested in me creating a music video for one of his artists. And yeah, I think he tried to get hold of me for 8 months, and I think I was being a superstar, but I wasn't. I just saw his messages really late, and after 8 months we were able to agree on the idea, on doing the project together. So he sent me the artist's new album, and he said I must choose a song and write a story based on the song that is gonna give me, based on the song that I like. So in the album I liked the song Woni. So the song is about a Cameroonian political leader who got murdered for uniting the rest of Cameroon against the colonial French government at the time. And the result of that, they murdered him and they buried his body into concrete, and they made him an example in the whole of Cameroon. And Cameroon was, so there was so much trauma in what had happened. Cameroon currently is the highest consumer of alcohol, so there's a lot of alcoholism happening there because of what had happened. So I thought my idea would be telling a story of this old woman who has a granddaughter that lives with her, and she has a shebeen, but in the same vein she's trying to educate her granddaughter to make the right choices in life and not end up being an alcoholic. But they've got a shebeen in the same house. So the story is about the tension the young girl goes through in living in this space where her grandmother is trying to be a good example to her, but her grandmother owns a shebeen, which is the reason why a lot of people are alcoholics in Cameroon. And at the end, the young girl makes the right decisions, but let's watch it and enjoy. Cool. Well, thank you. I think that's the last video I'll show you. I just have a few more photos we can skip through, or we don't have to. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, let's just skip. But anyway, what's always been interesting to me in the work I do is being able to breathe my life experiences into the work I do, to be able to tell from the most honest place. And also as a creative, I am very interested in creating from a place of selfishness, and by that I mean I am not interested in people's opinions about my work. Well, I don't create based on hoping for a certain opinion. You know, I create hoping my work makes me feel a certain way. It's about me. It's so selfish, but how other people receive it, it's their process. So I just found that as artists, our work loses a lot of heart when we create from a place of second guessing what the audience will receive it. And when you do that, it's no more art, in my opinion. You know, art is from within, and art is, yeah, it comes from you, not from the idea of what and how people will receive it. And that's me. I'm not afraid that my style can be a trend or people will copy it. That makes me feel happy. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right. You know, if people copy your work, it means that it means something or they felt something. You know, also, people must just do what they want to do with whatever. They must copy, they must, whatever. I'm not interested. I'm interested in just putting my work out. If it's copied, it's copied, you know. And I look at it this way. if you are gonna sing Michael Jackson's song, you're not gonna be Michael Jackson. You are just empowering his name. So. Yes. I made the transition. Well, I didn't make a transition because I still shoot digital, and I love digital. I was interested in film because it's a medium I've never used. So I wanted to see what it does, you know, what are the textures, because it's different. But I'll say it now, before any other photographer asks the question, there's nothing better between digital or film or cell phone. What's better is the intention, your idea, and how you capture. You know, the medium is irrelevant. Yeah. Cool. Yes.
I love your work, by the way.
Thank you.
I think just to give you credit, you bring a lot of dignity to the black experience, and that's a great deal for me. I
Thank
think
you.
from day one that I didn't even know who you were, rather when you just give my Facebook timeline and told me to you. I just love the dignity that you bring. What I want to ask you is two questions. Have you ever been scared when you've been cycling through the different kind of work that you've done, you've illustrator to this to that? Have you ever been fearful? And how do you sorry, thanks. So have you ever been scared when you've transitioned? And also, how do you define yourself as a black man? Because I think your lens of your black masculinity in this day and age is very interesting.
Yeah. I'll try to think of all the questions inside your question. So, yes, I'm always scared. Like standing up here, it's scary, but I have to soldier on and just do it, you know? And when I was growing up in Soweto, everything was against me. Like the odds were against me. I can't speak English. I can't really write it. Yes, I can design, I can do all those things. Should I quit because I can't speak? No. You know, I had to learn it because I know that it's important in my journey so that I get to the next step. So moving from being in advertising or illustrator, they were all scary decisions. Even now that I moved into being a director, it was scary because I can't really write and I can't really read. And if I'm gonna have to present and I have to read text on my presentation, it's a nightmare. I'm gonna sweat, you know. So it's finding ways around your shortcomings to get to what you want, you know. And that has always been a blessing I got from my parents, because against all odds, they made things happen for us, you know. Then the question of being a black man now, it is very important as a black man now, to me, that I have a voice. You know, I speak from my own experience. I create from my own experiences because my views of the world and experience of it is different. I'm not saying it's right, but there are things I come across that need to be engaged, that I need to engage. I grew up in a very patriarchal, very masculine, toxic masculinity space where my dad told me that, dude, you cannot be gay or all that stuff. You cannot cry. You can't do this, you know. And now that I'm a man that I am, with all the common sense I've got, I need to cry, you know. I need to be emotional. I need to have gay friends. I need to unlearn all that toxic masculinity stuff and openly speak about it, not from a place of knowing, from a place of my personal experience, that I think this is what we should be going, and I stand to be corrected, you know. Cool.
Thank you so much, Joseph. I don't need a mic.
Your project.
I think first of all, thank you so much, because I think in an industry like us, we need guys like you to really inspire us to tell our stories, especially as black creators. Thank you so much. Your work has been inspiring two questions. First of all, it's around the film industry in the country, and we know the challenges that we face. And someone who's in the industry, who's worked quite well, maybe what advice can you give sort of in the industry? Because I think we're still struggling. We couldn't our movies when we put them out, the promotion behind. It's not. There's a lot of things that we're not doing right. You know? It is an investment. So what advice maybe you can give the industry as a whole? And then secondly, I mean, you're working on Shaka's right now. We all know the first series, the power of its being played, the rest of the guys. So I guess for me, is there some intimidation there, recreating something that's at such an impact? And I mean, Henry Clay is viewed as actually Shaka's around the world. So just maybe around that.
Yeah. The first question about the difficulties in the industry is, it's always going to be difficult. You know, it will never be easy. And what you need to do, well, what I do, I acknowledge that it's hard and it's going to be tough to break through, but I'm not going to let seeing that struggle stop me, you know, because I am deserving of a space in the industry and I am going to claim it. And that's what we should all do. You should just claim your space and not look at the challenges around them. You can recognize them, but they should never stop you, because who are they to stop you? You know? And for them to be where they are, they had to push against a system that was against them. Everyone is pushing against the system. Then with Shaka Zulu, damn right, it's intimidating. But BOM is amazing. BOM shelter is the level of research and the level of attention to detail that is being put onto this project is amazing. So you're gonna be fine. It's gonna be a better character than Henry Kelly. Cool.
With the sprinkle of a light question. So I've known you for a while, you and your brothers, you know, and we started out in advertising around the same time.
I've known you too.
And, you know, I can, and I say this to you all the time, you know, I'm such a fan of you, I'm such a fan of your brothers, and I'm so proud of you guys, and I will be forever. You know, just for me, like I'm from Umtata, you know, and I came here to Joburg, and, you know, being in the advertising industry, being surrounded by creativity is still, you know, to this day, a very new thing to me. I'm still surprised that people appreciate my work, because where I'm from, society doesn't want you to be that, you know. And I really just, in front of everybody, want to commend you and your brothers for making it cool to be a creative, making it cool to be a weird kid, a different kid, you know what I mean? Like, you guys just keep pushing the boundaries, not just with photography and film, with fashion, just your narrative is just so inspiring, you know? You make people step up and go, no man, you know, I can do this thing, I can be myself, I can tell my stories. So, congratulations. You know?
Thank you. Thank you.
I guess, I just want to know, like, any chance for a feature, because I want to... feature film! Any chance for a feature film, because I want to spend a lot of money going to watch that. And I want to invite a lot of people to go and watch it, because, I mean...
Well, thank you. First of all, the first feature, you will get a feature. It's going there. I'm definitely going to have a feature film. I'm playing with ideas of what it would be. Currently, I'm thinking about exploring a space on masculinity and sexuality, you know, being a man, where I come from, what that means, you know, what my sexuality would have meant if it wasn't predetermined by the society I grew up in. So that's a feature I might be making. Maybe it might change, but thank you for the compliments. I just want to get one question from...
Okay, so last one.
Last one, yes. Do you want a mic? Okay. Okay.
I might go to more than 2 gymnastics, maybe.
Oh boy, I forgot the first one. So being what I've got to say for young people in the industry or not is that your dreams are very important. And there's something that Tyler Perry said. He said, your dreams are tied up with other people's dreams. So you need to realize your dreams, or you need to make all of what you do happen because it's going to help somebody, you know. So what I have to say is that it's not going to be easy. It doesn't get easier. It's not going to be a comfortable journey in your respectful journey of becoming what you want to be. It's going to be very hard, but you need to just push on. And the magic is in pushing against what you think is working against you, because you will get to the other side. Yeah, that's it for that. The next one, what does my future look like? To be honest, I have no idea. My life has changed into so many things. And right now, being a film director and a photographer is a perfect fit, but maybe I might be a gymnast who lives out the purpose that I was born for, maybe. But I'm definitely going to have a feature film, as I spoke earlier, and yeah, I don't know what to say. Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.